I thought I was prepared for this trip, but nothing could have prepared me for this. A chaotic layover, last minute gate changes, and a plane that felt like a mole in the sky. And just when I thought things couldn't get worse, my suitcase went missing for 18 days. So, was it bad luck, or is this how EgyptAir operates? And more importantly, should you fly with them? In this video, I'll break down everything from booking and check-in to in-flight experience, layovers, and how I handled my missing luggage. Plus, I'll be reviewing the 4 different aircraft I flew across 3 different countries. If you are thinking of flying EgyptAir, you would want to watch this till the end. Let's start with the booking process. I chose an economy restricted ticket because it was the cheapest for my multi-city route. Let me know if you would like an in-depth video explaining what economy restricted is and everything you should know about it. Checking in Lagos was smooth, but then out of nowhere, our boarding gate changed at the last minute. We got to our supposed gate only to find out nothing was happening there. It had been changed. No announcements, no notifications, and all we had to do was figure it out ourselves. We kept asking airport staffs and no one knew until we saw a screen and we checked it, and then that was how we found our new boarding gate. And as if that wasn't enough, our flight was delayed by 2 hours, which almost made us miss our connecting flight to Doha from Cairo. And trust me, Cairo airport is not where you want to be running for a flight. But of course, I ran, because if I didn't, I would have missed my flight and I wasn't ready for all of that stress. I flew 6 flights on EgyptAir, starting from Lagos with a supposed 2-hour layover in Cairo before my connecting flight to Doha. But because our Lagos flight was delayed for 2 hours, there was no layover anymore. I literally raced to catch my connecting flight. Our names were being announced all over the airport because we hadn't boarded yet. Then I flew from Doha to Beirut, again with a layover in Cairo, where I joined my connecting flight to Beirut, Lebanon. After that, I flew from Beirut to Cairo, not for a layover this time, but to visit Egypt and experience the country. And my final flight was from Cairo back to Lagos. Now, let's talk about the actual flights because not all Egypt airplanes are the same, and here is my experience on each aircraft. The first leg from Lagos to Cairo was on an Airbus A330, and honestly, it was giving Molo vibes. The plane felt old and cramped, and it was super packed. The in-flight entertainment was a tiny overhead screen, like something from the early 2000s. No presidential screens at all. This aircraft has 301 seats in total, 31 in business class and 265 in economy class. The business class has a 222 configuration, while the economy is a 242 configuration. The legroom was okay for a 6-hour flight, and sitting near the restroom in seat 42 didn't help my experience at all. There are 5 lavatories, including one for wheelchair accessibility, which makes a lot of sense in my opinion. And my honest opinion about this aircraft is that this aircraft feels like a mole in the sky. But thankfully, my connecting flight from Cairo to Doha was on an Airbus A320 Neo. It was smaller than the A330, but much more comfortable. I finally had my own entertainment screen and the legroom was also decent. This aircraft has 142 seats in total, 16 in business class and 126 in economy class. The business class has a 2-2 configuration while the economy has 3-3. There are also power outlets in economy class for charging devices. Next was Airbus A321, which I flew twice, first from Doha to Cairo, then from Cairo to Lagos. This aircraft operates short to medium haul routes and is configured in 2 classes only, which are business and economy classes respectively. Similar to the A320 Neo, the economy seating is a 3-3 configuration, and there are power outlets in economy class for charging device. The 4th and the last aircraft I flew on this trip was the Boeing 737-800, which I flew twice from Cairo to Beirut and back. And this left me wondering, is this the only Egypt aircraft that flies in and out of Lebanon? Because why the Boeing 737-800 for my return trip? The EgyptAir Boeing 737-800 has 144 seats in total, 24 in business class, and 120 in economy class. And the business class has a 2-2 configuration, while the economy has a 3-3 configuration. Now, if you are flying EgyptAir, don't expect 5-star meals. But was the food bad? No, it was okay. There is no variety where you can pick from a menu. But on medium haul flights, they first provide snacks and water, then tea or coffee depending on your preference. As part of the entertainment, only the Airbus A330 and Boeing 737-800 had no personal screen. Every other plane had one, and they were offering movies from world cinema and Arabic cinema. There was also TV shows, live TV, kiddies shows, and also music. You can also check the map to see your flight distance and route, but one thing was missing. There was no Wi-Fi. Now, let's talk about my layovers in Cairo International Airport. I had layovers twice, and both were stressful. Every time we landed, we had to sprint to our next gate. The first layover was especially bad because our flight was delayed almost as long as the layover itself. The second layover was also stressful because at check-in in Doha, one of my friends wasn't given his boarding pass for the next flight, and this delayed us in Cairo as he had to collect it before boarding. And now we have come to the worst part, where my luggage went missing. I arrived in Beirut, but my suitcase didn't. I filed the report instantly, sent email after email, called multiple times, and guess what? EgyptAir ignored me for 7 days after they had already found my suitcase in Beirut. By the time they responded, I was already in Egypt, 8 hours away from Cairo in Doha, and there was no way I could ditch my itinerary just to go to their office. I called customer service and it was a waste of my airtime. The representative wasn't even answering my questions. I sent another email, and guess what? You already know. No response. Finally, after 18 days, they sent my suitcase to Lagos and it was completely damaged. By then, my trip was over. I had already bought new clothes, perfume, and everything I needed in Lebanon 3 days after my suitcase went missing.
EgyptAir is there's something. They have frustrated me, and I just want to go back home from not finding my luggage in Beirut.
Until today, EgyptAir has refused to compensate me for my missing luggage or replace my damaged suitcase. If this happens to you, don't wait. Demand updates daily. Send them emails every day. Airlines tend to respond faster when they see you are persistent, and you put a lot of pressure on them, of course. The big question is, would I fly EgyptAir again? Well, I would consider the good and the bad based on my previous experiences with them. Let's talk about the good. Affordable tickets, and of course their hostesses were well behaved, and this is based on my own personal experience. Then let us also talk about the bad. Terrible customer service, delays, and then their last minute gate changes, which is so annoying. And then the fact that there is no compensation for my missing luggage or my damaged suitcase, no replacement for that as well. So would I ever fly them again? Well, maybe, if the price is right, that is, if it is cheap and if it is a good deal for me. But if you fly EgyptAir, be prepared for anything at all. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and make sure you share this video. And remember to subscribe for more travel reviews.